probably going to need a small one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you're back. So, now that we got the front end part, there's where the diff goes. I used white lithium grease on this one when I took it apart before to replace it. Only because I didn't have any marine grease at the time, but it had white lithium grease.
Still works just as good.
It coats your axles up real nice, the white lithium grease.
We've got a stripped one.
Here's the diff cover. Coats it up real good. So, the white lithium grease is pretty good too. You can even see the bearings. We got a rag here, you know, keep kind of wiping your fingers off.
We have a stripped one.
No.
Yep.
Oh no.
Or as I like to call it, oh no.
Wipe it, wipe it.
Sometimes, you just grab that in there. Sometimes, but not this time. It doesn't work.
Feels like that through.
So yeah,
there is a cure.
I'm pretty sure Joey has a cure for that.
There's a cure. Remember, there's once again, there's the part number for the diff.
You are going to have to save the ring gear off the diff in your truck.
I have some Allen key. We'll be right back. Okay, so I got a strip screw in the diff. Now we've tried everything to get it out. Doesn't want to come. So this is the cure.
That's right.
You get your Dremel. You get these little cutting wheels. They're amazing. You put them on the end of your Dremel here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slot into that strip screw right there. And then you're going to take a flathead screwdriver and twist it out. Toss that screw in the garbage and put a new one in. Yep. Wear safety goggles. All right. So as you can see, I made just a slot. Yes. Yes, you cut. I did cut the ring gear a little bit because, well, it happens.
It happens, but it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to do anything. And then you take this flathead screwdriver, and it fits perfectly in the slot, and you give it a twist.
Look at that.
You give it a twist, and out it comes.
Mm-hmm.
So once I get this all apart, then we'll come back and we'll show you what's happening. Where's that screw?
Now we got all the screws out. Let's see what's going on.
Okay.
A lot of grease in there.
Pull that guy out of there.
Let's pull that out of there. Thank you.
I'm looking for a screw, replacement screw, if you're all,
That one's pretty close.
That is the one.
Yeah, let's give this a little wipe down and see what the gears look like in this thing.
It's worn a bit.
You can't really see it too well, but you can see there is damage on those teeth. And that is due to improper mesh.
So now that we have this bad boy all apart, we're going to replace that with the new one. And if I have to, well, I'll just save the other one in case I do need a piece in a pinch. You know, sometimes that's what we need.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. Those teeth are not supposed to be flat on the top. That's worn out. This is the one that was in here, where the washer's going to go. Where is the holes? That's what he said. Now let's try.
You have the drawing parts. Put two across to each other. I usually put like two across, as if you're doing a real tire on a car. You always do opposite sides first, just to make sure it all seats right. And then you put the rest of the screws in. Yeah, you all right with that?
It was just hard to tell because if you turn that, it's like because before I shinned it, you turn it like this and it would lock.
Right.
You'd have to break it and then you turn it again. Now it doesn't do that.
Mine did that originally.
Yep. Now it doesn't do that with that shim.
Perfect. You got grease all over the place.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Greasy over here.
Yeah.
Now wipe your fingers off.
Okay.
All right. So now that we got this all done, we're gonna fill this up full of grease. I'm gonna use the white lithium grease because it's already full of white lithium grease. So I'm just gonna go with that. Which again, still fine. Right? It might be backwards, but it's good. I'm gonna fill this up, pack it all back in, and then we're gonna put it all together. Now I am gonna save the other gears and stuff. I'll just put them into a bag because the diff cup is still good, and the spider gears inside are still good.
But these are not.
Those ones are no good, so I'm gonna get rid of those.
Don't reuse those ever.
But I'm gonna keep the other little spider gears that are right there. I'm going to keep those. I'll just put them in my diff cover. And I have this extra gasket. I'm going to keep that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else is going bye-bye. So, it's all unlocked, right? The front's unlocked, the back's unlocked. And then the center diff, it's like an open diff, right? You can put some like 1,000 or million weight chalk oil in there to kind of give it a little more grab, but for the most part this is a rock bouncer, so it's meant to be an open diff so that when you're jumping it and crashing it and turning it and all that fun junk, when it's coming down and one tire grabs, that one tire will stop, but all of these will still continue and it won't break anything because it's unlocked. If it's locked and that one tire hits the ground first, this one stops, but the rest of these guys are pushing. So with all that momentum, you're going to break something. This is why it's completely unlocked.
Yep. Yeah.
Another one that's been plaguing me, man, and I finally got her fixed. These tires work great. You know, when you don't have a stand, you just throw some tires under that.
See how smooth that goes now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's way better than what it was.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Did it actually grind
Yeah,
brand new?
Yeah. So I got it used as well.
Oh.
Because I don't buy anything new.
Very rare we buy something new.
Very rare. So buying it used, sometimes you get a better price. For me, it was a decent price. The guy I got it from gave me a really good price on it. I appreciate that. But, you know, again, when you get something used, sometimes they're used and sometimes they're abused. Sometimes they're not. The Ryft, I think it was just abused. It's one of these trucks that's just abused right out of the box because you put a 3S in it. They can run up to 4S. A lot of people break them on 4S because I think it's too much power.
Yep.
3S, and then you run it, you drive it. Because I mean, something like this, I drive it. If I'm on like in a pit, hills and stuff, I'm driving it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And that's how I broke the front diff.
Yeah.
Give me the rag for a sec, please. That's how I broke the front diff. Again, this is the second one I've replaced because of that simple little problem. But now that it's been fixed,
hopefully that modification will save it for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And you know what?
I highly recommend doing that kind of modification because if you want to run this hard at all, even when you're just taking off fast and stuff like that on flat,
yeah,
like you hear it.
Yeah. So now, I mean, if you've got washers, because, you know, a lot of people, if you're a handy person, you have washers at home. You don't actually have to go to the hardware store and buy some. Dig through your washer pile, find yourself one, and drill it out like we did. And, you know, take it apart, put it back together. And we all have grease. Put your grease back to it. And Bob's your uncle. He's not my uncle. He's not my uncle, but, you know, somebody's uncle.
Somebody's uncle, oh yeah.
And that concludes the fixing of the Ryft. You guys have a great day. RC Connection.
Bye-bye.
Bonus video. Bonus clip. Bomber Ryft. We were just checking out the similarities with the two. So, the axles are pretty much the same. There are a few different things. The tires are bigger on the Ryft. Because on the Bomber I have 22XL. These are 22XL. But these guys are even bigger. You know, it's kind of hard to do a comparison. The front end is different. The front cage portion is different. Right.
But it kind of pretty much is generally the same setup.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a bar here. There's two bars here. Where on the Ryft it's just the one. And the cage upper is set out differently. But like when you flip them over, when I was saying how you take them apart, like I've got, this one has 3 screws to come apart. And there's a little down portion here, whereas the Ryft doesn't have that down. This doesn't stick out more, but you've got 4 screws. But it's the same idea. You take those screws apart, take those 2 screws apart, and it comes open. Just like this. You take those 4 screws and those 2, and the belly opens up on it.
Now, what I've noticed, there's only one kind of setting that you can put on the knuckles here, on the drive shafts. This one here, you can adjust it.
Right.
So that you can put your steering like this or like this.
Because those are the original Ryft axles. When the Ryft came out, they used the same axles. So they're the original Ryft axles. Hence, you can twist your pitch. You can twist the pitch a little bit.
Yeah.
But these are set up to be one way because they're pointed a little more upwards so that when you hit the ground, it's not so much of a detriment on the axle.
And it saves on steering parts.
Yes. The Ryft is also more beefier. The axles, in here are beefier than these.
Even right here, even the right like.
Yep. The drive shafts.
Drive shafts, everything.
Are beefier because this is the brushless system and it's meant for speed and all that. This is brushed.
Yep.
Right. I did put a 2-speed in it, but it's still brushed, so it doesn't have the power right away like this one does. Hence, they're set up differently.
Yeah, but it's basically almost the same. You can see that's in the same spots.
Yep.
Down here, same spots.
Yep.
Same.
Yeah, even the gear, the mesh thing. Anyway, bonus video for you guys.
Peace.